Hey guys, I'm Dave Cariello from Canal Chronicles, and welcome into another edition of our Saints Mailbag series, What Up With That? Alright, we're kicking things off with a question from Drama504, who wants me to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 what I think the chances of Terron Armstead starting at left tackle in Week 1 versus the Falcons. If I had to put a number to it, I would say about a 3. Everything that I have read about Armstead says that he's a little bit raw. Probably will need to redshirt his first year before really, becoming starter material. Then again, you never know what can happen. There's some unforeseen injury to somebody like Zach Strief or Charles Brown. He might just be thrust into that role no matter what, not have a choice about it. But all things going to plan, I would say he's not going to be starting Week 1. Our next question comes from Black and Gold Forever, who wants to know if there's any chance that the Saints will sign Graham to an extension before the season. I would probably have to say no. That's just not their MO. That's not the way they do things. That's not the way Mickey likes to run it. Keep in mind this is a team that let the Drew Brees contract situation go all the way down to the end. So I would expect them to do just about the same with Jimmy Graham. They'll probably let him play this year, see how he does. Maybe if he doesn't do that well, then they can use that as leverage to not pay him the incredibly large contract that he's probably going to be looking for. So I wouldn't expect anything to get done before the season. All right, our man Charles has a question for me personally. Who do I follow most other than the Saints? The Mets, the Islanders, the Pelicans, or Tulane? I was following the Islanders when they were in the playoffs, but unfortunately they got bounced early, although they were the 8th seed, so that was to be expected. But other than that, I would say definitely Tulane football, just because it's kind of part of my job. That's my alma mater, and it's right here in the city, and a lot easier to follow than those other guys. You know it's the off season when you're getting questions like this next one from Ryan E., who wants to know what is the better food, Mexican or Italian, and then pick the best dish of each kind. I gotta say, I am Italian, so I'm gonna go with Italian. I mean, I do enjoy me some Mexican food, but Italian is definitely, if I was stranded on an island and I had to be stuck with one thing, I think it would have to be definitely Italian. As far as the best Italian dish, I gotta go with my favorite pizza back home on Long Island from Umberto's, Grandma Slice. Every time I go back home, I gotta go get one of those, or 2 or 3 or 8. And if I had to pick a dish for Mexican, I'm a sucker for steak fajitas, maybe from like Superior Grill. But I also enjoy a good crispy quesadilla. So there you go. Tim P wants to know, who do I think will lead the team in sacks this season? That's a good question. That's a tough one. Since they're switching to the 3-4 and the linebackers, pressure's going to be coming from the linebackers, I'm going to go with Curtis Lofton. If I had to pick somebody in the defensive line, I probably would go with Cam Jordan, but I think it's going to be a linebacker. So I'm going to go with Curtis Lofton for sure. And if I had to put a number on it, I'm going to go with 11. All right, next question comes from Stuart J., who wants to know if Lance Moore is a true second wide receiver for the Saints now that Devery Henderson is gone. It's really hard to pin down, numbers for receivers in Peyton's system. It's never really been like that, but for all intents and purposes, if you had to put a number to it, yes, I would say Lance Moore is the number 2 guy. He's got the most experience. He's got the trust of Drew Brees and Sean Payton. He knows what he's doing out there. Sure, there's an opportunity there for one of the young guys, Kenny Stills, Nick Toon, Joe Morgan, whatever, to step up. But as of right now, Lance Moore is definitely your number 2. And our final question comes from Rusty, who wants to know which rookie do I see making the biggest contribution this year. I hate to go with the obvious answer, but I think it's definitely got to be Kenny Vaccaro. I know it's a cop-out answer because he's the first-round pick, but I really think he was a great pick there, and I think he's going to have plenty of opportunity, and I expect big things from him. So I hate to disappoint, not give some exciting answer, but definitely got to go with Kenny Vaccaro as the Saints Rookie of the Year. Well, that's a wrap for another edition of our New Orleans Saints Mailbag. What up with that? Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.